Opening, the insult in the classroom. The parents' meeting was full. Shiny watches. Expensive perfumes. Loud voices. And in the middle of the room, Miss Emma stood in her simple, faded blue dress. Her shoes were old. Her handbag was small and worn out. She held Mia's report card in her shaking hands. Mia's father, Mr. Carter, walked in like he owned the whole school. Golden watch. Italian shoes. Brand logo on his suit. 2 phones in his hand. He sat down, looked at Miss Emma from head to toe. And smirked. Mr. Carter, loud so everyone could hear. Seriously? You're my daughter's teacher? Emma tried to smile. Yes, sir. I'm Emma. I teach Mia English and... He cut her off. Look at your clothes. He laughed and turned to the other parents. Can you believe this? My daughter goes to one of the most expensive schools in the city, and her teacher dresses like she works in a charity shop. A few parents looked away, awkward. But some laughed with him. Emma's face went red. Her eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them back. Mia watched her father. She copied his face and laughed too. Daddy, she always wears the same dress, Mia said. See? Mr. Carter said. At least try to look like a professional, miss. He looked at her name tag. Miss Emma. With your salary, you can't afford proper clothes. The room went silent. Emma's hands shook around the report card. If you were in her place, would you cry? Walk out? Or answer back? Miss Emma took a deep breath. She looked straight at Mr. Carter. Sir, she said softly, clothes can be cheap, but character should not be. The parents stared. Mr. Carter's smile slowly faded. He had no idea. The woman he was insulting was the only reason his own secret life hadn't already been exposed. That morning had already been hard for Emma. She woke up before sunrise. Her small one-room apartment had thin walls and a leaking ceiling. Her mother, lying on a narrow bed, coughed. Emma, did you eat? Emma smiled. Later, Mama. First you take your medicine. She opened a brown paper packet. Medicine for her mother's weak heart. Almost her full salary went into this medicine and rent. Whatever little was left, she saved for bus fare and a simple meal. She opened her cupboard. Inside, 2 dresses. One faded blue. One old gray. She touched the blue dress. Again, she whispered to herself. God, give me strength today. At school, Emma was known as the kind teacher. She stayed late to help weak students. Many times she bought notebooks for kids whose parents couldn't pay. She never talked about her problems. She just smiled and worked. But today was parent-teacher meeting. Rich parents. Expensive cars outside the school. Phones out, taking selfies with their kids. Emma wiped the board, arranged the books, and smoothed her old blue dress. She knew some parents judged her. She knew some children laughed at her worn-out shoes. But she told herself, my job is to teach, not to impress. Then Mr. Carter arrived. Everyone knew him. The big businessman. Owner of multiple showrooms. Always loud. Always showing off. He walked into the classroom with Mia. Mia's hair was perfectly styled. Her bag was branded. Her shoes probably cost more than Emma's whole wardrobe. Emma smiled kindly. Good morning, Mia. Good morning, Mr. Carter. He didn't answer. He just stared at Emma like she was dirt on his shoes. You already saw what he said. How he insulted her clothes. How he laughed and made others laugh. Emma's heart broke a little more with each word. She wanted to disappear. But then she remembered something. A small boy. Barefoot. Torn shirt. Eyes full of hunger and hope. She suddenly looked at Mr. Carter in a different way. Sir, Emma said, voice more steady now. Can we please talk about Mia's studies? What's to talk? He snapped. If the teacher doesn't even know how to dress, how can she teach my daughter about success? Emma swallowed. Her fingers squeezed the report card. Sir, Mia is a smart girl, she said quietly. But she is becoming rude in class. She laughs at other students. She calls one girl poor because her shoes are old. Yesterday, she refused to sit next to a boy because his lunchbox was simple. Mia rolled her eyes. Because it's gross, miss, she said. He smells poor. A few parents gasped. Emma looked at Mr. Carter. This behavior, she said, children learn it from somewhere. Mr. Carter stood up. Are you blaming me? Emma looked him right in the eyes. Inside, her heart was racing. Her palms were sweaty. Sir, she said, I'm only saying, children copy what they see at home. Mr. Carter's face turned hard. You're just a teacher in cheap clothes. Watch how you talk to me. He stepped closer. People like you should be grateful you even work in a school like this, he hissed. Otherwise, you'd be cleaning floors somewhere. Emma's eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. She took a step back. And then, she softly said something that made him freeze. "Mr. Carter," she whispered, "do you remember a small boy who came to school in torn shoes, and cried because other kids laughed at his clothes?" He stared at her. His face changed for a second. Fear flickered in his eyes. How did she know that? Before he could answer, the principal's voice came from the door. "Is everything okay here?" The room went silent. All eyes turned to Mr. Carter and Emma. Emma stood there, shaking but brave. She knew if she spoke one more sentence, Mr. Carter's biggest secret could be exposed in front of everyone. Principal Daniels stepped into the classroom. He was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "I heard raised voices from the corridor," he said. "Is there a problem?" Mr. Carter quickly smoothed his suit. "No problem, Principal. I was just giving some feedback. This teacher," he pointed at Emma, "is not suitable for a top-class school like ours. Look at her clothes. Look at her style. Do you want this to be the face of your institution?" Some parents shifted uncomfortably. A few nodded, afraid to speak. Principal Daniels looked at Emma. Her eyes were red. Her hands shook. "Miss Emma," he said gently, "do you want to say something?" Emma took a deep breath. Her mind screamed, "Stay quiet. You need this job." But her heart said, "Enough." She looked at the parents. At the children watching from the doorway. Then at Mr. Carter. "Sir," she said, voice trembling but clear, "I have worked in this school for 8 years. I may not have expensive clothes, but I have given my heart to these children." She turned to the principal. "Every year, I stay after school to teach 3 or 4 children for free. Some of them are from poor families. I use my own money to buy their books." Mr. Carter smirked. "So you want applause?" She shook her head. "I don't say this for praise," she replied. "I say this because today I was called unprofessional, because of my clothes." She looked him straight in the eyes. "People like me know what it is to be poor. That's why we respect every person. We don't laugh at them." The room was quiet. Then Emma turned back to Mr. Carter. "And yes," she said slowly, "I do remember a small boy in torn shoes. He stood outside this very school gate years ago. Other boys mocked him. He cried and said, 'I will never come back. I am too poor.'" Mr. Carter's jaw tightened. "Stop," he muttered. Emma continued. "I was a trainee teacher then. I gave him my lunch money and bought him a cheap uniform from the market. I told him, 'Your clothes don't decide your future. Your hard work does.'" She took a step toward him. "That boy's name was Ethan," she said softly. "Ethan Carter." Gasps. Parents looked at Mr. Carter with wide eyes. Mia stared at her father. "Daddy? Is that true?" She whispered. For the first time, Mr. Carter's proud shoulders dropped. His hands shook. Sweat formed on his forehead. "Lies," he said weakly. "No one helped me. I built myself on my own." Emma shook her head. "I never told anyone," she said, "because one day you came to my desk and said, 'Please, miss, don't tell anyone I was poor. I don't want my future children to know.' Tears filled her eyes now. "I respected that. I carried your secret for all these years. Even when you came back as a rich parent, I pretended not to know you." She looked at the other parents. "Today, I am insulted for my cheap clothes, by the same boy I once helped." A mother in the back whispered, "Oh my God." Another parent picked up their phone and pressed record. Principal Daniels cleared his throat. "Is this true, Mr. Carter?" he asked. Mr. Carter's lips trembled. He looked at Emma. He saw not just a teacher, but the face of his past. The hunger. The shame. The tears. He remembered. He remembered her buying him a uniform. Helping him read. Encouraging him. He remembered crying into his pillow because the other boys laughed at his torn clothes. He remembered her words. "Never laugh at those who have less than you. You know how it feels." And now, he had become the very person he once hated. But his pride was still fighting. "This is personal," he snapped. "You can't tell my life story in front of everyone. You have no right." Principal Daniels' voice was firm. "She didn't mention your past until you pushed her. You insulted her in front of parents and students. You made it public." A father stepped forward. "With respect, Mr. Carter," he said, "we all pay fees here. We want good teachers. Clothes don't teach our children. Values do. And today, Miss Emma showed more values than you." Someone muttered, "I'm recording this so the board can see what's happening." Mia tugged at her father's sleeve. "Daddy, you were poor?" She whispered, eyes shiny. "You told me poor people are lazy." That sentence hit him like a slap. He looked around. Every eye was on him. Judging. Shocked. And for the first time in a long time, the rich father felt small. "Meeting over," he growled. He grabbed Mia's hand. We're leaving this stupid school. He stormed out. But as he turned, he saw something that made his blood run cold. One of the older students stood in the doorway. Phone in hand. Recording everything. The title on the screen. Rich father insults teacher's clothes, then his secret past is exposed. By nightfall, that video would be all over social media. And Mr. Carter's shiny perfect image would start to crack. By evening, the video was everywhere. On WhatsApp groups. On TikTok. On Facebook. People watched the clip again and again. The rich father laughing at the teacher's cheap dress. The poor teacher staying calm. The moment she revealed his past. Comments poured in. Never forget where you came from. Respect your teachers. This man forgot his roots. This Miss Emma is a queen. Mr. Carter sat alone in his fancy living room. The chandelier above him. Big TV in front of him. But his heart was heavy. His phone kept buzzing. Business partner. Bro, what is this video? It's bad for our brand. Client. We don't want our name linked with this kind of behavior. Let's pause our deal. Sibling. You really said those things? To a teacher. Even his own father sent a voice note. Ethan, did you forget the days you borrowed my only shoes to go to school? That teacher helped you like an angel. And now you humiliate her? Shame on you, son. Mr. Carter turned the phone face down. His hands covered his face. For the first time in many years. He cried. Mia slowly walked into the room. She no longer had the same proud look. Daddy, she said quietly, my friend sent me the video. He looked up, eyes red. They're laughing at me, she whispered. They're calling me rich bully's daughter. Mr. Carter's heart broke. He hugged her tightly. I'm so sorry, Mia, he said. I taught you the wrong things. She pulled back. Did Miss Emma really help you when you were poor? He nodded slowly. Yes. Then why did you talk to her like that? He swallowed hard. Because I was ashamed of my past, he admitted. I thought if I acted rich, no one would know. I forgot that real success is not about money, it's about how we treat people. Mia's eyes filled with tears. I was mean to other kids because I wanted to be like you. The words cut deep. Karma had arrived. Not as a car crash. Not as police. But as a mirror. A mirror showing him what he had become, and what he was teaching his own child. The next morning, Mr. Carter did something he hadn't done in years. He opened his old box from under the bed. Inside was a torn school uniform, a rusty badge, and an old note in neat handwriting. Dear Ethan, your clothes do not decide your future. Your kindness does. Miss Emma. He held the note to his chest. Tears fell on the old paper. Then he made a decision. At school that day, everyone was talking about the video. Some students walked up to Emma quietly. Miss, you're very brave. Miss, my mom said you deserve a raise. Emma smiled softly, but her heart was tired. She stood in the staff room, staring at her worn-out shoes. Did I do the right thing? She wondered. I didn't want to hurt him. I just wanted him to stop hurting others. Principal Daniels walked in. Miss Emma, he said, the school board saw the video. They want to meet you later. Her heart jumped. Am I in trouble? He smiled. You'll see. Later, an announcement came over the speakers. All students and staff, please gather in the auditorium. The hall filled. Children whispered. Teachers stood in the back. On the stage stood Principal Daniels. And beside him, Mr. Carter. But he looked different. No suit. No shiny watch. Just a simple shirt and trousers. Emma's eyes widened. Principal Daniels spoke into the mic. Today, we want to talk about what happened yesterday. Many of you have seen the video. Whispers. He continued. A teacher was insulted for her simple clothes. But she showed more dignity and strength than the person who insulted her. He turned to Emma. Miss Emma, please come on stage. Her legs felt like they were made of stone. But she walked up slowly. Mr. Carter stepped away from the center, giving her space. The principal smiled at her. On behalf of the school, we want to say, thank you. For your years of service. For your patience. And for reminding us what real respect looks like. He held up a plaque. Teacher of the Year, Miss Emma. The hall clapped loudly. Some students even stood up and cheered. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Her hands shook as she took the award. Then Principal Daniels handed the mic to Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter looked at the crowd. His voice was softer now. I don't deserve to speak, he began. But I need to. He turned to Emma. Miss Emma, you helped me when I had nothing. You bought me a uniform. You fed me. You believed in me when no one did. Silence in the hall. And yesterday, he continued, voice breaking, I repaid that kindness with arrogance and cruelty. I insulted you for the same thing I once cried about, being poor. He turned to the students. Children, listen to me, he said. If you have money, that doesn't make you better than anyone. I had money and lost my heart. Don't be like me. He faced Emma again. In front of everyone, I want to say, I'm sorry. I am truly, deeply sorry. He slowly bent down and touched her feet. Gasps filled the hall. Emma quickly bent too, trying to lift him up. Please don't do this, she whispered, tears falling. He stood up, eyes wet. You deserve it, he said. He reached into his pocket and took out a folded paper. I spoke to the board, he said. We are starting a new scholarship program for poor students. It will be funded by my company and named after you. He handed the paper to Principal Daniels, who read it aloud. The Emma Hope Scholarship Fund, the principal announced. For students who cannot afford fees, books, or uniforms. The hall erupted in applause. Some teachers wiped their eyes. Some students smiled with pride. Mia ran up on stage and hugged Emma tightly. I'm sorry, miss, she cried. I don't want to be mean anymore. I want to be kind like you. Emma hugged her back. It's okay, Mia, she whispered. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we change. Mr. Carter looked at them, his heart heavy and light at the same time. Karma had come. Not to destroy his life, but to break his pride and save his soul. Sometimes, life gives us money, just to see if we will forget who we were. Never laugh at someone for being poor. The clothes they wear today do not show the future God has written for them. Respect the people who helped you when you had nothing. And remember, real richness is not in your wallet. It's in your heart. If you saw someone insult a teacher like this in real life, would you stay silent or stand up for what's right?